No pedigree. No problem. Just you, your spectacular mixed-up DNA, and the family that never stood a chance. Your earliest memories aren't exactly what you'd call quaint. There's no rolling countryside, no Pinterest-worthy wooden kennel with a hand-painted name sign. Nope. Your first real memory is a wall of sound, the yipping, howling, scratching symphony of a busy South Florida shelter on a Tuesday afternoon. You've got concrete under your paws and fluorescent lighting overhead and approximately 47 smells hitting you at once, none of them good. And yet, somehow, there's warmth. Your mama, a scrappy little thing, tan and wiry with one ear that never quite stood upright. She's right there. She has this magnificent patience about her that you'll spend the rest of your life trying to understand. She never snaps, never growls, just sighs this long, deep sigh like she's seen things. She has. But right now, she's here, and you're here, and the afternoon sun is slipping in through a high window and landing on the two of you like a spotlight. You don't know what breed you are. Nobody does. The volunteers have their theories. There's always one who squints at you and says, "Definitely some lab in there," and another who insists, No, look at those ears, that's pure hound right there." You've heard terrier mix, shepherd something, I think maybe dachshund, in the same breath. You're a mystery wrapped in fur. And honestly, that's the most interesting thing about you, and you already know it. You're not a dog without a lineage. You're a dog with all the lineages. A living, tail-wagging greatest hits collection of every good dog that ever lived. You learn early that survival in the shelter is a game of strategy. The food bowl situation is competitive. The prime sleeping spot against the warm wall, even more so. Your first life lesson happens at approximately 2 weeks old. If you want the good stuff, you gotta be fast, and you gotta be a little dramatic about wanting it. This is not manipulation. This is art. You are already an artist, and you don't even know it yet. You've seen it happen before. A family walks in, always that specific energy, kind of nervous, kind of excited, kids vibrating like they've had too much sugar, and then one of your kennel neighbors gets plucked up and carried out, and that's that. Gone. The betrayal hits different every single time. You watch the door. You learn to read humans fast, faster than any textbook could teach you. Then one Saturday, you feel it. Something shifts in the air. The particular quality of light, maybe. The way the volunteer who smells like coffee and kindness opens the gate a little wider than usual. A family comes through. 2 humans, couple of kids. They're looking at everyone, cooing, taking their time. One of the kids has a peanut butter smell lingering on their fingers, and that alone puts them in your top 5 immediately. Here's where your instincts kick in hard. You assess the situation. Some of your kennel mates go full desperation mode, barking, jumping, clawing at the gate like they're auditioning for a disaster movie. Valid strategy, not your style. You've been watching humans long enough to know they don't want a dog, they want a story. They want to go home and say, "And then he just looked at us and we knew." So you deploy the look, capital T, capital L. You sit down, actually sit like a gentleman, and you tilt your head just slightly to the left, and you let your eyes go wide and soft and deep as the Atlantic on a calm morning, and you let this tiny, barely there whimper escape. Not loud, not desperate, just vulnerable. Like you've been waiting specifically for them. Because in that moment, you decide you have been. The eyes close, the head tilts, and somewhere in that quiet moment, the deal is done before any paperwork is ever signed. Then, and this is pure genius, even you know it, you stand up, start chasing your own tail, trip over your own paws, and tumble sideways into the kennel wall. It looks accidental. It is absolutely not accidental. The kid with the peanut butter fingers bursts into laughter. The mom puts her hand over her heart. The dad pulls out his phone to record it. You hear one of them say, "Oh my God, we have to take him home." Done. Contract signed. You, my friend, have a family. The car ride. Oh boy, nobody warned you about the car ride. 1 second you're in the shelter, smelly, familiar, known. And then you're in this metal box that moves and roars and there's wind coming in from everywhere and the whole world outside is blurring by at an absolutely unhinged speed. You're in a lap that doesn't quite know how to hold you yet. This is fine. Everything is fine. You express your feelings about this via your stomach, directly onto the upholstered back seat. Consider it a housewarming gift. Consider it an inauguration of the new era. The house hits different. You walk in and the smell, oh, the smell. It's like a library of a whole family's life. Their food, their sleep, their comings and goings, every candle and every sock and every secret. You catalog it all in approximately 30 seconds. Then you get to work. The leather couch, you decide, needs evaluation. You approach it scientifically. Does it respond to pressure? Yes. Does the corner have structural integrity? Debatable. You test this extensively with your back molars. The humans will later call this destruction. You prefer the term tactile assessment. The rug in the living room, too, needs your signature. You find the perfect spot, squat with the gravity of an artist standing before a blank canvas, and mark your territory in a bold, abstract shape. This is your home now. You are saying, I was here. I chose this. This is mine. They'll replace the rug. They'll reupholster the couch. But they will never unknow the way their whole house smelled like possibility the day you moved in. Night one is you in a brand new dog bed that still smells like the store, listening to the sounds of this new place settling around you. The fridge hum, the AC kicking on, someone's feet padding down the hallway for a glass of water. You don't sleep much, but you notice everything. And somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning, one of the kids sneaks out of their room and lies down next to your little dog bed on the floor and falls asleep right there. That's when you know this is going to work out just fine. They say, be right back in these cheerful little voices, and then they just leave. They close the door. You sit there for a full 4 seconds processing the injustice of this. You've watched enough television with them, because you watch everything, you are always watching, to understand that just running to the store is code for abandonment in multiple telenovela storylines. Your internal clock, which is extremely unreliable in the best of times, immediately tells you it has been 40 years. You have been alone for 40 years. This is a scientific fact. The Loneliness Documentation Project. Field notes. Locate the bathroom. Find the toilet paper roll. This is the thread of your suffering. Unravel it down the hallway, through the kitchen, under the dining room table, into the laundry room. Stand back. Admire. This represents your grief, stretched across every room they have ever occupied without you. Move to the bedroom. The pillow from their bed smells like them. This is both comforting and deeply unfair. Redistribute it to the center of the living room floor. This is called curation. Lie down in the middle of the toilet paper installation and stare at the front door with the hollow eyes of someone who has known true loss. Breathe slowly. Prepare the performance. 19 minutes later, which your internal clock logged as approximately 3 decades, the door opens. And here's where the training pays off. You don't just run to the door. You approach slowly, head low, tail doing this deeply uncertain, wounded little wag, eyes communicating. I thought you were never coming back. I have experienced things in your absence that no soul should endure. Then, instantly, you pivot. You explode into joy. You spin, you bounce, your entire back half moving like it has its own personality. You bring them every toy you own, one by one, laying them at their feet like offerings. They almost forget about the toilet paper situation. Almost. But you're already doing the wiggle, and nobody can stay mad during the wiggle. This is physics. It becomes clear, about 2 weeks in, that this family has absolutely no idea how to maintain their own security perimeter. You take this personally. You appoint yourself head of Homeland Defense, a role that comes with 0 pay and infinite responsibility, and you take it very, very seriously. The mailman. Look, you've done your research, and which is to say, you've watched this person approach the house every single day, same time, same route, bold as anything, walk directly up to your door, make a dramatic gesture toward the mailbox, and then leave. This is reconnaissance. This is a professional casing the property. The fact that he wears the same uniform every day only confirms that this is an organized operation. You respond accordingly. You bark with everything you have. You summon a deep bark you've been practicing in private. It doesn't come naturally. You are not a large dog. But commitment matters. You throw your entire body into it. Some dogs are born to herd sheep. Some are born to pull sleds. You were born to stand at a window and alert the entire neighborhood to every passing squirrel. Purpose is purpose. Then one afternoon you completely lose your mind over a figure approaching the front door, barking, spinning, going absolutely nuclear. and it turns out to be one of the kids coming home with a pizza box. The smell hits you a second after the embarrassment does. You recover quickly. You apologize the only way you know how. You bring your favorite toys. One by one, the best one first. She laughs, sits down, and lets you climb all over her. Crisis resolved. You notice it one morning in the reflection of the sliding glass door. There's white creeping into the fur around your snout. Not a lot at first. Just a few threads, like the first frost on a Florida morning, which is rare enough that it means something when it happens. You press your nose to the glass and look at yourself for a long moment. You don't feel different. Inside, you're still the same. The same engine that once chased lizards across the yard at full speed. The same heart that explodes with joy every time you hear a leash clip. But the zoomies, those wild physics-defying sprints around the living room, they're shorter now. You run, you feel that spark again, and then you slow down and return to your bed with a quiet understanding of your own body. It's not sad. It's just different. The couch becomes a negotiation. You stand at the edge looking up. The jump that used to be effortless is now something you consider. You've developed a system. Front paws up. Pause. Look back at your human. It's only a small request, mostly expectation. And every time, they come over and lift you the rest of the way. You accept this with grace. You've trained them well. Years of work led to this moment. You are not embarrassed. Getting older just means you've loved longer. Every white hair is a chapter. Every slow morning is something you've earned. The things that matter to you are the same things that always mattered. The warm patch of sunlight on the kitchen floor between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. The sound of your family's footsteps outside. The smell of dinner starting somewhere in the house. A hand resting gently on your back in the evening. Not doing anything. Just there. You are a creature of the present moment. You always have been, and only now, with time behind you. Your humans are starting to understand that this is the secret to everything. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being a rescue mutt. That beginning, the shelter, the noise, the uncertainty, it was never a disadvantage. It was context. It's what made you pay attention, what made you appreciate small kindnesses, what made you sit in a beam of sunlight like it was the entire point of being alive. Because it was. It still is. You look around your home, the scratched corner where you used to turn too fast, the patch of grass in the yard worn down from lying in the same spot every summer, the couch cushion shaped by your head after years of resting in the same place. These are your marks, not the chewed shoe from the first year, the real ones, the ones nobody photographs, but everyone feels. You taught them things they didn't even know they needed to learn. That a good morning should be greeted with your whole body, not half attention. That a walk around the block is never just a walk. It's an adventure, full of smells and moments. That forgiveness is simple. It takes seconds. It involves a tail, and no grudges. Being a mutt was never a limitation. It was the whole point. You carried every possible piece of every good dog that ever existed, and gave it all to one family who needed it more than they knew. And long after you're gone, they will still feel you. They'll drive down the same street and notice a dog sitting alone, and something in their chest will tighten. They'll stop more often. They'll care more. They'll think of you. Not just as a pet they once had, but as the reason something inside them changed. Permanently. Because love like that doesn't come with papers. It doesn't come with a pedigree. It just shows up, messy, unexpected. Maybe chews one shoe, and somehow becomes everything. You were never just a dog. From the very first moment, you were something more. A quiet kind of teacher. The kind that doesn't even realize it's teaching. Just being exactly who it is. From shelter to home, from stray to family. What a life. What a beautiful, messy, perfect life.